Laminate floors have the same great look as hardwood floors, and installation is easy, especially if you follow these simple steps. Lowe's has many different styles of laminate flooring to fit the look of any home. But before you install any type of flooring, make sure you prep your subfloor. To learn how, watch the subfloor prep videos at lowes.com/videos. Also, print out the instructions for this project. Now, we've listed all the steps and materials you'll need to complete your floor. For this project, we'll need laminate flooring, underlayment and moisture barrier if required, a jigsaw and a circular saw for cutting the boards. A miter saw and table saw can make the job even easier. Of course, when cutting, always use safety glasses and a dust mask. You'll also need flooring spacers. A weight or carton of flooring will keep the floor stationary while you're working on it. Use a tapping block, dead blow hammer, and pull bar to help join the planks. You'll also need a tape measure, pencil, utility knife, and a level. You may need some wood glue and silicone sealant too. Then to finish the job, have the appropriate transitions and moldings. Attach them using a hammer, finish nails, a nail set, and filler. Finally, for this job, knee pads are a really good idea. If you're not confident installing a laminate floor, see a Lowe's associate. Lowe's installs many types of flooring, and always follow local building codes. Now, before starting the project, read the manufacturer's instructions for the correct installation of your flooring. You'll also find information regarding types of subfloors and moisture tests. If you're installing over concrete, a moisture barrier is required. Laminate floors are known as floating floors because they're not physically attached to the subfloor. They can be installed over ceramic, vinyl, concrete, or in our case, plywood. We've already prepped our subfloor by removing the baseboards and carpet and leveling the surface like we showed in the subfloor prep videos. We don't have to install underlayment because our new flooring has it pre-attached, and our subfloor does not require a moisture barrier. One note to make before the installation: be sure to bring the flooring into the room so it can acclimate to the temperature and humidity for 72 hours if required by the manufacturer. Okay, let's get started. We lay our flooring with the tongue side toward the starting wall and the groove toward the open area of the room, but check the instructions for your floor. For the first piece in the corner, use a saw to cut the tongue off the long side that will be against the wall. Remember to wear your safety glasses. Cut the tongue off the long side for all the other pieces of row 1 as well. Our flooring manufacturer calls for a 1/4 inch expansion gap around the perimeter of the floor, so cut the planks accordingly and use spacers to maintain that gap. When the boards in row 1 have been prepped, it's time to start assembling the flooring. Begin piecing together the first few rows about 2 feet away from the starting wall. Our flooring assembles from the left to the right. Now, there are several methods for installing laminate flooring, so be sure to check your manufacturer's instructions. We're staggering our joints at least 12 inches, so we cut the first plank of row 2 to 32 inches in length. To cut the flooring, place the plank on its face to reduce chipping, and use a saw blade recommended for flooring. Insert the tongue of the long side of row 2 into the groove of row 1. Use a slight angle and press downward until the joint locks. Then attach the next piece of row 1. Join the tongue and groove of the short side at an angle and press down. Make sure the planks are perfectly aligned. Then add the second piece of row 2. Insert the tongue into the long-sided groove. Slide the plank to align the end joint, rotate downwards, and lock the joint. No gaps, no raised edges. Do this for every row. After installing the first 2 planks of each row, place a weight or a carton of flooring on top of the first plank of each row to hold it in place. When a plank can't be rotated, such as under a door frame, see the manufacturer's instructions for using a tapping block. Once the first 2 rows are assembled, slide them against the starting wall, maintaining the 1/4 inch expansion gap using spacers. Continue installing the rest of the floor. Make sure the joints are staggered at least 12 inches. You may be able to use the cut pieces to start new rows. If you have obstructions like vents or cabinets, use a jigsaw and cut the flooring to fit. Make sure you include the expansion gap. And when installing around a toilet or tub, apply a silicone sealant to form a watertight seal. When you get to the last row, measure the distance between the wall and the last installed row. Then subtract the expansion gap. This is the width needed for the final row. When marking the cut line, don't measure from the tongue. Then cut the plank along the line. If needed, insert the last row with a pull bar. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for installing the transition strips and moldings. Now, if you installed a separate underlayment, cut the excess around the perimeter of the floor. The last step is to attach the baseboards to the wall, not the floor. This floor looks great. Now you're ready to install your laminate floor. But before you begin your flooring project, check out our other flooring videos at lowes.com/videos.